Shots like
everything
like from the dark half.
The dark half. I forgot about the dark half.
Yeah,
everything has been made into a book.
Everything has been
made into a movie, which it almost feels like they start off as movies.
Yeah,
then
he's just writing screenplays.
That's pretty much what it is.
He's always been writing.
I'm telling you though, Cujo, Saint Bernard's. I am still terrified of Saint Bernard's. I instantly think it's going to attack me.
And monkeys.
And monkeys too. Why? What? Monkeys? Oh God! See, now I'm afraid.
Because Cujo had rabies, and our friend got bit by a monkey. And he had that rabies shot.
That is true. Okay, well, this is all horrible, so be afraid.
Yeah.
Hello, this is Between the Streams. This is our weekly entertainment podcast where we talk about everything that's going on in the world of movies and television, and we have a lot going on today. We're going to be covering everything from some new Netflix series that are coming out. We've got some Indiana Jones news. We've got some, believe it or not, a One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest prequel to talk about. I mean, there's just so many things to get to today, and we're really glad everybody's tuning in. We're live on Facebook and YouTube. I'm Greg Nibbler.
I'm Ryan Juanita.
And we have to start right off, though, and talk about what the big movie is. I think that everybody's going to try to go see this weekend.
Apparently.
It. Stephen King's It is out. I've already seen some posts from some people who have just friends that have seen it, who are already raving about it and saying how amazing it is.
Yeah, it's interesting because it got really big buzz. It's like at 90% on Rotten Tomatoes, but it also is averaging like a 7.
Really?
So it's like hard to tell how awesome it's really going to be. I don't want it to be too hyped. But the other part of that, you always have to take Rotten Tomatoes with a grain of salt anyways. But the other part of that is, for me, horror is never correctly judged by reviewers or to my taste. Like,
that's true.
There's so many different elements to horror. There can be camp to it. It can almost be, it's a lot like comedy in that way. Both of them are really hard to judge from reviewers.
Yeah, it's a real personal standpoint.
But I think like most of the reactions that I've seen, like just from regular movie watchers, and part of this might just be because they're dying to see something decent at the box office, which we'll talk about. But yeah what we're hearing, lots of scares, lots of good acting from the kids. There's some heart to it. And Skarsgård is a
terrifying clown. I mean, and clowns are clearly one of the scariest things.
I guess he goes really over the top though.
Yeah.
Whereas like Pennywise originally with Tim Curry was sort of a little bit comical. He's like playing with balloons. He's like
a little clowny. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess this is just like
a straight up
super
demon,
freaking evil.
That's what's amazing though. That's what I really want to see is that kind of version of Pennywise because I feel like that's who Pennywise.
In the book, he's more like that.
Yeah.
And again, we were talking about how adaptations always have to be more, they have to be more like the book, more authentic these days because you read on a forum from, some super fan that doesn't think it's authentic and that can spoil a movie these days.
Yeah,
but our guy Rick Marshall said that there's almost like a presence to it, that wasn't there in the Tim Curry version for his Pennywise. So it's an interesting take on Pennywise and it's fun to see it on film. And we should also mention that this is just one of 2. We weren't sure if we were going to get the second one.
Right.
If it bombed.
Were they not going to make it? I thought they would already set
I think it was already set up, but you never know. If something bombs, then you never know what's going to happen.
Right.
But, so we know we're going to get both stories, so don't worry about only
so
seeing
we are
half of
get
it.
That.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Well,
but that's the crazy thing is this thing is going to make a ton of money, and it is shattering box office.
Yeah. So what is that right now for the box office? It's $13.5 million just in the previews,
which beats Deadpool's $12.7 million.
So
Deadpool made $800 million overall, I think, domestic and worldwide. So this movie could be reaching towards $1 billion for a horror movie.
Damn,
and
really? That's crazy.
They're saying the estimates were at 60 to 70 million, but it could get past 90 to 100 million for this weekend.
Wow,
which is just a ton of money for a horror movie.
Yeah,
and I think the bottom line is we keep referring to this was one of the worst box offices this is the worst in the last 10 years.
Yeah, I mean, and we're going to cover
just
talking about how bad the box office has been, too.
Yes.
I did want to address just what the question was that we had at the top here, which was, what is the best Stephen King movie TV adaptation ever? And that's what we were discussing before.
There's no wrong answer.
Yeah, there's no wrong answer, but it's it's such a personal
really
thing
is.
as far as what it is.
There's
And-
something for everybody. There's the Green Mile and Stand By
the Green
Me
Mile, yeah.
for people
Shawshank
who just want to
Redemption.
see like a good story. Shawshank Redemption, like
Yeah.
a good story about triumph and
Right.
you know. And then there's
The
just
Langoliers,
that's-
Tommy Knockers.
We talk about Salem's Lot. Like I don't think
Yeah.
anyone's seen that movie, but there is a movie.
Right, there is a movie, and the thing is, there's
really like that
more
book.
and more. Well, I mean, this is what within a month, 2 Stephen King adaptations within a month, basically, 6 weeks that
Wait,
have come
what
out.
was the other one?
The Dark Tower.
Oh, of course. I
mean-
kind of forgot about that. 'Cause,
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But still, it's a Stephen King.
Well,
one.
and the other thing is that I would say a large majority of them have not been great. That's
Yeah.
the funny thing. And we were talking about that. Like he was it was almost he was writing a book, and then when he like finished his signature on the book, he would sign the license for the movie.
And I'll take this check
and here's
and
the
this
license
check.
for the
Thank
movie
you very
studio,
much.
and we're done.
Yeah.
And now it's a movie.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not going to stop either because there's
Yeah.
so many more Stephen King movies and television shows that are coming out. I feel like almost every week we can have a segment of what's
Yeah, he had
new
the
Stephen
JFK
King.
thing with Franco on Hulu that
Yeah.
went really well.
Yeah, which actually was great.
That's a good series.
You have Castle Rock, which is going to be coming out, I believe, on Hulu, or maybe it was Amazon. I have to double check.
Maybe Stephen King should have his own streaming site.
He almost could. Yeah,
Which we'll touch
that's
on
a good
later.
tie-up. That's nice work on that. Okay, we'll
I
bring
think he
that up
could
here
do
in
it.
just a second.
I think he could do it.
Well, with the box office, as you were saying, box office down this summer by a lot, and I think that's just because a lot of us aren't going to the movies, and I can't remember the last, just like not a big blockbuster, but just a regular movie that I went and saw. I
Yeah,
know
we were
you go
trying to
the theater a
remember
lot.
the last movie. The last movie I saw was Logan Lucky.
Yeah.
And that was not a big blockbuster by
No.
any means. It was a really good film, but and it was Soderbergh's sort of return or whatever, but that wasn't anything huge. And we were down 14.6% over last year, according to Variety. 3.7 billion in total gross. I mean, if you think about that, like Fast Furious 7 made $1 billion.
Oh, yeah.
Like, so
Those
it's
ones
like
that were pretty much still
3.7 billion in total gross is not very much money.
Yeah.
So it's kind of it seems like
been on a
everybody
downward
was like
trend.
just really looking for anything to be good, and
Yeah.
this is a good one to take us into the fall season where we've got some good movies coming out. We hope Thor Ragnarok,
Yeah.
and the new Star Wars,
Right.
Star Wars 8. But speaking of Star Wars.
Excellent. Boy,
We
you are
have
the
a
segue master today.
Well, we have a serious
Segue.
problem with the Star Wars franchise right now again, and
Yeah.
it seems like we have one of these every couple months.
Yeah.
Tell them what it is this time. Greg.
Well, this is for Star Wars Episode 9, which 8 is the one that's coming out this year. This is for May of 2019, has already lost its director.
in case you haven't heard, it was pretty
yeah.
highly publicized.
It
but
was.
For those who don't know, Colin Trevorrow is out.
Colin Trevorrow out as director of Star Wars Episode 9, and this is just kind of a symptom of a whole problem that Disney's been having. I mean, if you remember, the Han Solo movie that's going to be coming out already lost its director, and Ron Howard had to come in and hopefully save that. I still am iffy on that one. I
That
don't
whole
know how that's
movie
gonna work.
seems like there's so many problems.
Just seems like a bad idea.
From
Just stop it.
From the thesis statement of that movie, like,
Right.
somebody's going to try to be Han Solo,
Yeah.
who is not Harrison Ford. Right there, you're already in trouble.
Yep, fail. But yeah, with this coming out, I mean, and this is going to be the seminal thing. They say this is going to wrap up the full 9 episodes.
Yeah, it's the end. It's not
That's
just an offshoot. This is the end of the
end.
saga,
Yeah.
essentially.
And then
as
maybe
far as we know.
something
And then
new
they'll probably
going on.
keep going.
or
because
something different. Maybe
They're going to
down the
make a
road.
new Star Wars movie every year, they said.
Right. But
for-
this is the
forever.
one. This is the bookend. I mean,
Yes, it's the bookend of the
Mark
of
Hamill
the,
can't
the latest
make movies
trilogy.
forever.
No, you're right.
so-
No, absolutely. But this is a pattern, and it's not just with Star Wars. Now, to name off the Star Wars ones, we had Phil Lord and Chris Miller get fired off Han Solo, as you said. We had the Rogue One issues with the reshoots and all kinds of arguing between Gareth Edwards on how they wanted to do that.
Yeah.
And of course, not too long ago, we also had, I think 2015, Edgar Wright fired from Ant-Man. So then they brought in Peyton Reed for that. And that movie ended up being good, but as we said, it sort of ended up being medium style. It's like
Yeah.
a medium Marvel movie. And that's the thing with Disney that we're learning time and time again now, is they want to bring in all these great storytellers, these guys that write their own scripts, and they're like the auteurs. They bring them in. The director tries to bring their own style to the movie. They say, "Oh no, this is a Disney movie. You do it exactly like
You're
this."
a Disney man now.
I mean, there's something exactly. There's something great about the Disney tone with the Marvel movies because you know what you're going to get in a way, and they can sort of offshoot it with the storyline, like Guardians of the Galaxy stuff, and we've got Thor Ragnarok coming out. So that's going to be something different. But if you don't toe the company line when it comes to tone, you're out, no matter who you are. I mean, Colin Trevorrow made over $1 billion from Jurassic World. Yeah. Looking, buddy, if you don't tell the line, you're going to be out of here, see? But my question about this is you have to wonder, are directors going to start being a little wary about doing a Disney film, even though it's a massive franchise? It's an Indiana Jones or Star Wars, from Lucasfilm, or it's a Disney, or it's a Marvel movie.
I'm going to say no, because they're still getting paid.
They're still getting paid, but some of these people already get paid. They might have 10 offers.
That's true.
And that's probably one reason that Star Wars is picking younger directors, is because they have sort of J.J. Abrams running the show as the producer.
Yeah.
But even, when we get to the Marvel stuff, it's like...
But there's something that's a pull about that. Just the lure of having your name on a Star Wars movie.
And don't get me wrong.
On a Star Wars.
Go see a Star Wars. Go direct a Star Wars.
Putting your name on that.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, though. It's not like I think, Disney's going to be hard up for directors. Nobody's going to do a Disney film. I just think this kind of like antagonistic relationship between them and really great, hot filmmakers in the industry is not going to be good for the talent they want to bring in.
Mian just said on Facebook, the Disney formula works, though, and it's true.
It does
the
work.
Disney formula works.
I just wonder, like, if there's going to be some backlash.
Well, and moving on that with the other thing with Disney that we did want to talk about, it just got announced here, I think, in the last 24 hours.
Yeah, we just heard about it.
Just heard about it. So
as far as the confirmation.
That the confirmation that Disney is, in fact, going to be pulling all of the Marvel and Star Wars universe movies off of Netflix. So it's going to be in 2019, so you have a little while left. But what's that?
Well, Netflix's stock is going to dive again. Yeah. When they first announced it dove, and then it came back up, and now Netflix stock is probably going to dive again, because that's how it works.
Yeah, so it's all going to be pulled off of there. Disney's going to have their own standalone streaming service, which most likely it's being speculated that it'll have all their animated films, Pixar, Lucasfilm, and Marvel divisions, and then, as we were talking about with our friend Rich, like probably all the children's programming too, which is huge.
As he was saying, is the godsend for anyone.
Having not had a kid,
how could you even rear a child
but
without streaming? Is like seems to be the new, the new thing. But they're also going to have ESPN on its own, so that's going to be interesting too.
Yeah, so more streaming services that you're going to have to buy.
Yeah, I mean, how many do you want? There's like 20, and they're all at least $10 a month.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't buy cable because I don't want to pay that much. I just pay $200 a month in streaming services. Got my Amazon and my Hulu and my Netflix and my ESPN and my HBOs and my Showtimes and my CBS All Accesses and
all of them.
There's just too many.
Well, let's move on from that. So that's the news that we just got today.
I don't want to go off on a rant here.
Digital trends. I want to get out of here before he goes off on this too much. No, I know it's frustrating.
Yeah.
But coming up here, we're going to be talking about some more things from Netflix. Netflix does has, of course, more original content coming up. We've got some more biopics. We're going to talk about the Freddie Mercury movie.
Yes.
But I do have an Indiana Jones 5 update, because there is going to be an Indiana Jones 5.
I've been waiting for this.
Indiana Jones 5. The news that we got on it is that it is going to be a sequel to Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, whether you like it or not. But one of the probably more controversial characters from that movie will not be in it, and that is Shia LaBeouf or LaBeouf. I always say it wrong.
I don't know. It doesn't matter.
That guy.
Shocking news today.
Yeah, that guy.
Shocking news. The guy that fell off the planet and is probably certifiable at this point is not going to be in an Indiana Jones movie.
which is strange. I mean, they bring him in, it's like, hey, he's got a kid. Never mind. We'll just pretend that didn't happen. He's like the Jar Jar Binks of Indiana Jones.
There are a few things that could make me not excited to watch an Indiana Jones movie, and one is Shia LaBeouf, and two is Kingdom of the Crystal Skulls. So that's not a good match.
Yeah,
I'm not excited about this movie. Harrison Ford is really old. I mean, I love the guy. He's one of my favorite people ever, but he's so old, and like
he's so
don't
old.
know. The last one wasn't good.
Yeah, it's July 10th, 2020. So 3 years until this movie even comes out.
And how old will he be?
I think it's like 80.
I think it's like 81.
Yeah, 81 or something.
That can't be right. Can it?
How could he even crack a whip at that
How
age?
old am I? Yeah.
You know, I mean, he's in good shape, but come on. He's 81. It's not really going to be that intimidating.
No.
But
are you okay?
Just wait till 4 o'clock.
Indiana Jones is falling down, and he can't get up. I can't even do. Let's stop shooting the arrows. He's actually really hurt over there.
I want my biscuit. All right. So that's what we know.
Yeah, I don't know, dude.
That's Indiana Jones 5, July 10th, 2020.
Yes.
Okay. Something else. This is, prequels and remakes are kind of a really big thing right now. We talk about this almost every week.
And another thing that's a really big thing right now is Ryan Murphy, who
Ryan
seems to
Murphy.
make every television show that comes out.
Yeah, Ryan Murphy is the one behind American Horror Story, American Crime Story,
Scream Girls,
so many, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And now he just signed a deal with Netflix for it's already got 2 seasons. 2 seasons are already guaranteed.
Of course it does.
18 episodes.
That must have been some pitch.
Let's see, a 2-season, 18 episodes straight to series order. I don't know if that's 36 episodes, probably 9 apiece, maybe, whatever.
I mean, that has to do with his name.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And it's this. It is a prequel to One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. So if you remember in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, which if you haven't watched it, it's a great movie.
Really depressing.
Really depressing.
But fun and interesting and good. And
yeah, a good movie.
Classic.
There is a horrible woman in that movie who is the
For
nurse.
those who don't know.
Yeah, I mean, she's kind of the villain of the whole movie.
Yes.
Her name's Nurse Ratched. And she's just kind of the bane of everybody's existence to this thing. Just a horrible person to all these inmates. The whole movie takes place in mental health system. I don't know, mental health insane asylum is what they call it.
Yeah, it was the old school kind where they just drugged them up and stuck them in a room.
Yeah,
maybe they still do that.
I don't know. Anyway, so Nurse Ratched, it's going to be a prequel series about her and how she became that, and it's going to star Sarah Paulson, Ryan Murphy's favorite, as Nurse
doesn't
Ratched.
Do shows for Ryan Murphy.
Yeah,
that's impossible.
And that is that's going to be coming to Netflix. They think I think mid 2018 is when the first season will air.
And honestly, I have to say, like, while I'm tired of prequels and stuff like that, 2 things could make me want to see this, and that's Ryan Murphy and Sarah Paulson. She's amazing.
Sarah Paulson is
everything she does. She's finally getting recognized for that. She's getting statues. So this could be interesting.
Honestly, I mean, once they said this is going to happen, I can't think of anybody else who would.
No, she will be so good.
Yeah,
she will kill it.
Yeah, so there it is. You're going to get 2 series of that, of Nurse Ratched coming to Netflix next year. All right, we've got a few other things to talk about here, too. I do want to play this trailer because you introduced me to this for a new movie that's coming out called The Hostels with Christian Bale, and this is one of those, like, okay, Oscar-worthy kind of things,
totally.
I think, pretty much. But Christian Bale's just an incredible actor. He really is great.
Yeah, and it's from Scott Cooper, who did Crazy Heart, Out of the Fire, Black Mass. I almost said Crazy Fart, but I didn't. But then I did. But the point being, he's a good director, and he makes sort of brutal, dark movies. Crazy Heart was really good, though.
Crazy Heart is great.
Black Mass is really good, too.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is being heralded as like possibly the most brutal Western ever. I read a review about it, and they said it sort of toes the line, except it's tests your knowledge of how brutal like a Western movie could actually get.
I mean, I like a good Western movie, so
I guess it's pretty dark though, and I guess the thesis statement, according to this reviewer, is that the human soul is tortured and evil, basically.
Wow.
And like it's a lot about like what the white man did to the Native Americans. So there's sort of that central theme.
Yeah, the film basically is about this. The synopsis is follows a U.S. soldier who's Christian Bale, a veteran of the American Indian Wars, who, despite a firm belief in God, also harbors a worn cynicism about the world, and he has to help.
He's got an Indian chief, I believe, that
escort a dying chief.
Yeah, who has cancer back to his like homelands to be buried, but
he also hates Native Americans.
Right, and all along the way, and he was keeping them like prisoner before he has to escort him. So it just sounds pretty.
It sounds like
pretty
a
dark.
real dark movie.
real
uplifting.
Yeah.
One. Yeah, okay. Well, there we go.
We'll triumph for the human spirit.
Okay. Well, let's move on to something that is more uplifting, I think. And that is...
Or at least intriguing.
Yeah. So we've got our biopics. That's the other thing that's really big right now. And there are a ton of them being made. But this one is one that I think we've all wanted to see something of this for a long time. And it's the Freddie Mercury of Queen, his biopic. It's called Bohemian Rhapsody. And...
well, I need to sort of adjust that because I was reading about it. I thought it was going to be mostly about Freddie Mercury, but I guess the Queen's two of the Queen former members have signed off on it, and it's going to be sort of more about the band. It's going to be about Freddie Mercury for sure, but they're definitely going to have the band in there. Yeah, exactly. But either way, I mean, I think Freddie Mercury is the selling point of this thing.
Exactly,
and the other interesting thing is who's going to play him.
Yeah, which is Rami Malek. So Rami Malek, which you know him from...
Mr. Robot.
Mr. Robot.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Robot. Mr. Robot. He is going to be playing Freddie Mercury. And for a long time, we heard Sacha Baron Cohen was going to be doing it.
Well, he was. Yeah, he was signed on, and that fell apart. They've had multiple directors that fell apart.
Yeah.
That were dropped out, and so this has been in the works for over a decade.
So they just put out that picture of Rami Malek as Freddie Mercury,
and it looks crazy.
It's pretty amazing. Yeah, he grew the mustache out. He does look remarkably like him.
There was a lot of talk about whether it was doctored or not. Some people think it was, but I don't know.
I mean,
it looks pretty close.
It's pretty close. I mean, you're not going to have exact.
Yeah.
But I guess during the movie, they're going to mix in some of Freddie Mercury's actual vocals with his vocals, with Rami Malek's vocals. He said he was
this is
in
the
the
weird
recording
part.
studio, so he's actually doing some of the singing, which I don't really see how you can do that because it's almost impossible.
It's almost impossible, and that's why it's like I think that's why this movie has dropped off the planet so many times. Is how are you supposed to do this? But yeah, I guess he's at Abbey Roads. Is that what you said? That he's at Abbey Road right now. Like, they're recording him, and then they're going to somehow pipe in Freddie Mercury's voice too.
Yeah.
Probably for the high notes. I don't know how that's going to work.
I don't know how you can sing like Freddie Mercury. I mean, that's
no.
Just the one guy who tours with him right now. He's about the only guy I think could.
Yeah,
they
should have.
Do it.
It's Adam Lambert.
Yeah,
and maybe they should have had him star in the movie. At least he can sing.
He doesn't look like him though. That's the only problem.
Yeah.
So
very interesting.
So, but that's going to be coming out in 2018. They've got a December 25th, Christmas of 2018. Is when that is targeted for. So we will see that next year. A couple other things that are coming a little bit sooner. Netflix, continuing on with the biopic theme of everybody, doing somebody that's actually not dead yet. So they're doing a movie called The Pope, which is going to chronicle the rise of Pope Francis, the current Pope, and how he became that and how that all worked out. So the person playing him, though, is Jonathan Pryce, who, if you watch Game of Thrones, it's the High Sparrow. And I looked at the pictures
so
side by
much
side.
Like him. It's insane.
It's ridiculous. They could be the same person.
Plus, he's a fantastic actor, and he's just coming off another run as like a religious guy. It's like very Although the stars aligned for this.
It's going to be hard not to look at him as just instantly evil in a religious role, since he was the High Sparrow.
That's true. But speaking of evil in a religious role, maybe I shouldn't have said that. But Anthony Hopkins is going to be playing Benedict, who is not very popular. Not as popular.
Yeah.
He wasn't evil.
No.
But he was not popular. He kind of, there's talk that he got himself elected because he was the one in charge of it. And then he resigned, which like almost never happened. So there's a lot to mine here for this story. It should be pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Anthony Hopkins.
Anthony Hopkins.
You got two excellent actors at the top.
And so this is going to be coming out in I think 2018 is what they're shooting for this one. They're going to start filming in November. So that is coming to Netflix. The Pope is what it's going to be called. We've got another
very interesting title.
Another biopic. Just I have to bring this up because this is also somebody who kind of looks like him. And actually, we've got a back-to-back with this same actor, which is Chris Pine. Hulu is going to have a Robert F. Kennedy biopic. Actually, believe it's going to be it's going to be coming to Hulu. Sorry, I just want to make sure that I verified that and got that right. So that's going to be happening. Is just going to kind of chronicle his rise and how RFK, ended up running for president. I'm assuming we know how it's going to end.
Yeah.
It's going to be a series, so it'll be a limited series of what they're going to do.
Okay, it's sort of a miniseries thing.
Kind of a miniseries with Chris Pine playing RFK.
And the thing is that
kind of looks like him.
RFK is in a lot of ways, a lot of people thought he would have been one of the greatest presidents of all time, like better than JFK. He didn't have all of the sort of vices that JFK had. He was sort of a born leader and, life taken right in his prime.
It should be a really interesting series.
I mean, we lost out on something serious there. On the rise of, on the same level as Martin Luther King. And I mean, he was going to be a serious candidate for maybe one of the best presidents ever. So it's an interesting story, and it should be fun to... I mean, I don't know if fun's the right word, but it should be, it should be well worth watching.
Yeah, as long as they do it right and actually stay historically
And I love Chris Pine.
Really cool. Yeah, Chris Pine's great.
What's going to be interesting, though, is hearing him do the accent.
Oh, yeah.
Because you got to get that accent.
I believe.
They should just have the guy from The Simpsons.
I know. Esme, I tell you right now. All right, anyway.
That wasn't bad. That wasn't bad. The right
started falling apart.
It did fall apart at the end.
Kind of fell apart, yeah.
That's true.
All right, well, Chris Pine also, I guess this would be kind of a biopic, another movie coming to Netflix that he's starring in called The Outlaw King. Now, I'm excited about this. If you watched Braveheart back in the day and you liked Braveheart, you probably remember Robert the Bruce. Robert the Bruce was actually a really seminal character in Scottish history, helped lead a whole bunch of revolts and basically free Scotland. For a while, anyway. And so this is about Robert the Bruce. So Chris Pine's going to be playing Robert the Bruce. It's going to be a one movie. It's not going to be a series. But it kind of chronicles that and how Robert the Bruce, fought to regain the crown fought to regain control after being crowned King of the Scots, and everything that happened there. So fighting the English. So more good old, kind of Braveheart action, I think.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
Is it going to be super bloody?
I'm gonna
that's
guess
the
it's
question.
real violent.
Yeah, that's the question.
I'm gonna guess it will be, but we got a little picture of it.
That's how Braveheart gets by.
Yeah.
In the Mel Gibson style.
Oh yeah.
Just if you put more blood in it,
give him more blood.
Give it a little
Give him
bit
some
more
face
of the
paint.
blood. I like it. His head explodes, but it's not quite bloody enough.
More blood. So that's happening. Also with Netflix, getting back to our Stephen King theme that we had here at the top. What's the best Stephen King movie, TV adaptation
What do
ever?
we got?
And there are so many. We now have Gerald's Game, which Gerald's Game is, I would have to say, not one of the most popular books that he has written.
Yes.
This one was in 1992. I read it, and honestly, I can't remember much of what happens in it.
I'm pretty sure I started it and then got bored.
Yeah.
But this trailer does look kind of cool.
Yeah, it does. I mean, it stars Carla Gugino, which I think I'm saying her name right. You would recognize her if you see her.
She's great.
Yeah, she really is. And essentially, it's this couple goes on a vacation to some cabin out in the middle of nowhere. She gets tied up as they're about ready to have some fun together, and then he dies.
Not just tied up, but handcuffed.
Handcuffed.
Serious metal handcuffs.
Yeah, cannot escape from this bed. And then he kills over, and then she's just stuck in this room by herself.
Yes.
And slowly goes insane, and other things happen. How you make the entire movie out of that is going to be interesting. I mean, it's pretty much just her, unless they do some flashbacks.
Yeah, I think they're going to do that, and just her mind starts messing with her. I can't remember if there's actually a spiritual presence in this book, or if she just goes crazy. There usually is a spiritual presence alongside the crazy in Stephen King books. But, it's a very contained story. It's sort of a bottle story. She's stuck there, so there's not much they can do as far as, scenes and locations. But
yeah. I mean, it just further proves that anything Stephen King writes will eventually get turned into a movie or a television
now proves
show.
my theory that every Stephen King book must be made into a series or movie.
Yeah? So that's when it's going to be coming out to Netflix next year. Next year. I believe it's next year. I'm sorry. I may have the date wrong on that, but that is going to be coming out. So that'll be coming out to Netflix. I apologize for that. All right. Something else we found out that is going to be made that got optioned. This is another weird one, a prequel film. A prequel to Dracula called, Dracula is what they're going to be calling it, a prequel film. And Paramount Pictures acquired the rights to it. It was written by Stoker.
This is the weird part,
who is the great-grandnephew of Bram Stoker. Bram Stoker, the original writer.
Does that mean
Dracula.
he's a good writer?
I don't know. There's also another guy attached to it as a writer, so I think it might be just, let's put a Stoker name on there.
That makes sense.
So, Stoker.
But there's a lot of storyline there. We got it in the original movie, how he was, Vlad the Impaler in the original book, and then he
and I think they're staying
God,
away from
and
that.
Is that what they're doing?
Yeah,
okay.
So I guess this one is going to be, it's Bram Stoker's going to be in it, and where Bram Stoker is a 21-year-old who meets Dracula and then imprisons him in a tower. So Bram Stoker is actually in the book about...
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't read that well enough. That's so meta.
I don't know how that's going to work out there.
Well, Dr. Stoker wanted to tell the real story.
Yeah. Yeah.
That must have been what it was.
Dr. Stoker.
Dr.
So that is something that we can look forward to in the future.
Name.
Dr.
Yeah.
Dr.
Dr.
Yeah, but he probably corrects people all the time on how to say it, right?
That's true.
What's up, Daker? All right.
It's better than I don't know. All the names now are last names for everybody. Jackson and Sawyer and
This is what we're going to get into now?
Robertson.
I'm old.
I'm an old man. I don't like the new names. Stop naming people.
All right. Last few things here that we're going to do before we wrap it up for today. I'm going to tell you about a couple of things that are coming out this weekend that you can watch. Before I do that, I was just excited to share this photo.
Yeah.
Because we know Arrested Development Season 5 is filming right now, and we just got a picture of Tony Hale posted, where he just posted Mother and Me with him and Jessica Walter. So
who is
him and Lucille.
Two of my favorites.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Even outside of Arrested Development, they're both fantastic.
They're amazing.
In everything.
Yeah,
so
pretty much.
Pretty
much amazing in everything. So I thought that was kind of cool just for a little taste that they are filming
it
right
is
now.
coming. It's actually happening. We've been talking about Season 5 since I started this job, maybe? It's been a long time.
A long time.
Yeah,
now we finally know.
Yes.
Okay, a couple of things that are coming out this weekend that you can watch at home. You don't have to go anywhere.
Correct.
Orville, we've got the trailer for it. This is finally coming out on Sunday. And this is basically...
That name really throws me off. I really thought we were going to be talking about the origins of the popcorn factory and everything.
Somebody's written a script for that. I guarantee it. That and an Oscar Mayer one.
And it would be called just Orville. The rise of the popcorn
We've got to pop
giant.
the popcorn. But no, this is not about popcorn. Okay. This is basically a spoof of Star Trek. Seth MacFarlane, this is one of his things. It's a live action. They've got a bunch of aliens. It's them going on different missions.
This is basically payback for him making billions of dollars for Fox. They're like, okay, fine, you can have your own series, whatever you want.
See, now there are some people excited. Courtney just wrote, I have my DVR set for Orville. Can't wait.
I actually think it might be fun. It's very much channeling Galaxy Quest, but that's not a bad thing.
Galaxy Quest and a lot of, that's not a bad thing. Yeah. You're right. And a lot of, I'm sure, Family Guy type of humor in there.
Yeah, and all the tropes of Star Trek, as there are many. So
it's either going to be really good or it's going to be really, really bad.
I think you might be right. I'll be either pleasantly surprised by the clever humor or just think, oh, seen this before. I'm done with this.
Recycled Family Guy jokes.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'll watch it. I'll definitely check it out. Maybe not.
Absolutely. I will absolutely check it out.
But I'll end up watching it. Another thing that's coming out this weekend is on HBO. They need something after Game of Thrones, and it is going to be a series called The Deuce, which you've probably seen some trailers.
It's not about what you might think it is.
It's James Franco. James Franco is playing twins, and it's set in Manhattan in the 1970s, like the seedy underbelly. One brother is basically a pornographer who owes money or something like that to a bunch of people, and the other brother kind of gets confused for him. Or maybe they're both in the porn industry. I'm a little confused as far as where it's going.
And it looks like it's going to be some gangster stuff, but a lot of it is going to be the rise of the porn industry.
Yeah.
And Maggie Gyllenhaal is going to be playing a porn star, one of the first porn stars, I think, or
something along those lines.
It's right around the Deep Throat era.
She's playing Eileen Candy Merrill.
It looks like it's going to be pretty dirty.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure.
It's HBO.
Yeah.
But don't worry. I'm sure if they show any naked people, they'll make you feel bad about it later, which is the new style.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's like Game of Thrones. They can show show you a naked person, but then you have to somehow feel bad about it or see something terrible.
Terrible happen.
See something diseased. Yeah.
Oh. All right, we'll see what happens with it. It's true. You're right.
That's not what it is.
Well, The Deuce. The creator is David Simon from The Wire, though, which that actually gives me a lot.
Gives
of
it
hope.
a lot of credit. Yeah, absolutely. And James Franco.
He's
always
great.
good.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes he's weird, often weird, but he's usually.
But that's probably going to work for this role.
Totally.
So The Deuce, that is coming out this weekend as well. And I'll just say this: I was going to do a full Narcos season 3 review. There's not a lot to tell. I mean,
is it don't watch it or is it
it's
watch it?
If you liked the other seasons, watch it.
There it is.
It is not as good as the other seasons, but it's still good because obviously Pablo's gone. So this is following the Cali cartel and the taking down of them, which is based on a true story. They take a lot of liberties in it. But this was the 4 godfathers who were in charge of the Cali cartel. And so it's kind of taking down each one of them and how that happened and how they went through that.
Yeah, in a way, this kind of bear with me here, but in a way, this kind of reminds me of The Killing, if you've ever seen that, where the first 2 episodes are all based around this tightly wound story.
Yeah.
And then the first 2 seasons, I should say, and then the 3rd season just kind of does a totally different thing.
Well, these characters were in.
Okay. So it does have
they're in throughout.
Some connections.
Yeah, it's just they were the ones fighting him. So then
so
the
rest of the
Pablo's
guys,
gone, they kind of rose to the top.
Right.
And I will say this. It's already set for a whole nother series. I totally know where they're going to go with it next.
A whole nother season?
Say it. Yeah, another season. But that is it. If you like the first 2, watch it. It is good. If you haven't seen any of them, start back at season 1. Then decide. All right, I think that's about it.
That's fair.
So we all need to go see it. I think that was the final version that we
it.
had now. I did see somebody type in that The Langoliers was...
The Langoliers? That's the one I couldn't think of.
Yeah, The Langoliers was great.
Where the monsters come and eat the past.
That's
the Langoliers.
Well, no, the Langoliers is where they're pulled out, like everybody disappears.
No, they go back in time, but then monsters come and eat the past. It's the weirdest thing ever.
Oh, that's right. You're right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, spoilers.
Yeah.
Langoliers. So check that out. We're talking about it, though. It in the theaters now. Go check that out. And again, this is between the streams. Normally, we're live at 2 p.m. on Friday, so we went a little early. My fault. Thank you, everybody, for accommodating that. And yeah, I mean, have a great weekend. Anything else you want to add?
Nope.
Just go see it.
Not a single
That's about
thing.
it. Okay, that was it. Very well said. Wrapped it up. All right, thanks so much, everybody, for tuning in. Send us an email, podcast@digitaltrends.com. Let us know if there's any movies or television shows you think we should check out. Subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, wherever you get yours. And thanks for watching. We'll be back next week with another episode.